right, what is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be going through and showing you how to properly port a mesh from, well, I guess whatever game you want to use, but we're going to be using Gears of War models with Gears of War, which I suggest you do because, you want to keep the art style of the game. Very beautiful game. So we have our model here. As you can clearly see, he is detached in a lot of different ways. Now, I made him detached in these ways, and I'm going to show you exactly how to detach. So what I just did there was I joined back by pressing Control J. So we're going to press Tab. It's going to bring you into edit mode. There are other modes as well, weight painting and other stuff. But for now, we're just going to go into edit mode. Now, make sure nothing is selected. I usually use faces. This is the face of the vertice, which is like this. These are the faces. These are the edges. And these are the vertex points. So now, whenever you are trying to get an object, usually this works on high poly models. This doesn't really work on the lower poly models as well. It is a lot worse to do on lower poly. So whenever you highlight a selected area, right, just like this, so you'll shift click to highlight more, you'll left control and drag to deselect, or you can click off screen, it'll deselect the whole model. Now you can also click A and it will select the entire model, but we don't want that. We are trying to just take this armor and basically make it its own solid mesh. So we'll highlight some of it just like this. We're going to control L and it's going to copy some of it, not all of it, right? So you'll kind of have to go through each area just like this, shift clicking, control Z to go back. So if you accidentally click on some wrong areas, that's basically all you have to do here. But there's a more simpler way to do this. So instead of doing it on the entire model, like I was doing, right? Just like this, and then hitting Control L, it's not that great of a way to do it. So there's a better way of doing this. If we can separate the model in a different way, it will work better. So instead of separating this first, we can separate the actual character first. So now we would just press P, selection, tab, go back into object mode by pressing tab. And now we have our separation from the actual chest here. As you can clearly see, there's some eyes up here because they're actually once connected to the entirety of the model. Now, if you want to select something just like this, we use this. And now we can go into wireframe mode. We can click on tab, go back in here. I'm going to grab the eyes and I'm going to control L. So whenever you go through, this will go through the entire mesh, but I still control L just in case any missing vertices didn't get captured. And then you'll press P by selection. You'll do the same thing. And so now we have those eyes selected. I'm going to, with the eyes, I have them selected and I'm going to shift click on my character. And I'm going to control J to rejoin them back with the character. So now I have this. And what I want to do is I want to press tab again. And now from here, I can shift drag. I'm going to drag and grab all of this. Now I can control L. And I know for a fact that it grabbed everything that I need. I'm going to press P again. I'm going to do by selection. And now we have that as its own part by itself. To drag and move things is pressing G. And you can move things anywhere you want. Or you can press G, move it on, and press X. You can move it on the X axis. Control Z. You can press G, press Z, move it on the Z axis, up and down. Press G, press Y, and you can move it backwards and forwards on the Y axis. But that is not what we don't want to do. Currently, we just want to make sure that we have everything separated. So now that you know how to separate things, go through and separate almost everything that you can separate on your character. And it's most important that you do that. So I'm going to show you why. So we're going to hide all these different pieces because whenever we're going to weight paint and we're going to remerge these, I'm going to click my character, or I'm going to click my legs, shift click my character, Control J, and that should be the end of it. Now, there's one important thing that you should know. So here is the older model of the character. So this is Gears of War 3 as an older version. Now, he has a UV map that says UV M and then AP UV map, but these three are uppercase and then two lowercase. Before doing any of the separating on the character, make sure that when you have the full model intact, so when your model looks like this, I'm going to show you. So here's my full model. I'm going to press, hold on, actually, let me hide the armature. So I'm going to press A, select all, and I'm going to shift click the chest, and then I'm going to Control J, and it's going to join everything back. Now, what I was trying to tell you was that make sure that before you start separating anything, make sure this UV map here is called the exact same thing as the other character. And I would do that just because it is very important in a lot of cases where the UV textures, sometimes they copy properties, and sometimes it works better in game just to do so because it's the same name as the previous character, so it'll most likely work well. So I'm just going to undo what I did and put us back where we were. So this is where we are, and we have our, sorry, I am looking for the model, or the character model. This one, no, this one, no, where did he go? Ah, there he is. Okay, so now we have our model here, and by the way, to hide the mesh, you'll click H, and it will just hide it, and you can Control Z to bring it back. And what's called, if you see it up here, you can just disable and re-enable it. So we'll click on our mesh, right? Or not our mesh. This is the old mesh. The old mesh has all of these different weights and bones. And before, my character had a lot of these too. But what I did was I posed him. I posed him to the correct way. Now, I'm not going to go over that in this video, mostly because posing is pretty straightforward, but at the same time, it's a little more complicated. So I just want to be able to show you guys the proper way to do certain things, but you're obviously not going to be able to get this far without the posing. So I know that's kind of a miss there. But so yeah, we have our old model, right? And he has all of these weight paintings. So every single one of them is, weight painted properly to an area. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the old model and shift click on our model. Now we're going to weight paint. We're going to click on weights. We're going to transfer weights to the nearest face interpolated. We're going to do it by name. And then we're going to go to normalize. Make sure this is set to all, as normalize all groups, clean all groups. Now we'll go back in here. We can hide the old model. And now let me see where the actual armature. So this is the armature of the Locust Hunter, which is the same armature that you can find on our character, but it's not the same because this is a PSK. Ours was an FBX. So now to use this armature that we want, we can click our model. We can go to modifiers. We can add an armature. We can target that object to the the armature, which are these little things here, which is part of the skeletal mesh. And so now we will control and press tab, which will put us in pose mode, or you can do it manually if you want to as well. And now if I drag over the character, I can press R and I can rotate the character's arm. I can rotate this if I wanted to. I can rotate this if I wanted to, you know, and so on and so forth. Now, a lot of stuff is not going to stretch properly or the way that it should, right? And that's purely because of the way that our character was, you know, auto weight painted. As you can see, that's not supposed to be happening, but we're going to fix that. So most of everything is working. Usually that's like the one thing that kind of breaks, that doesn't work, is under the armpits. So I wouldn't be too, worried about anything like that. And the shoulders working here, that's working pretty good. So, uh, yeah, it's great. It works great. So now, after we do that, we can go into actual weight painting. So we can go here, or you can go here, click on weight painting as well. And so the best thing to do here is to go back into edit mode, and we're going to select our character, Control L. We're going to deselect him again, and we're going to click on just this mesh, weight paint, go into our data. We're going to make sure that we go in here, and so on this side now, this is his clavicle arm. This is perfectly fine, but this is his upper arm, and as you can see, there's some pulling over here, and that's the root issue here. So I actually didn't mean to do that for some reason. I don't know why I did that. So let me get back to that arm for you guys. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, like there's his clavicle arm, and then there's his upper arm. So now we're gonna bring the weight paint to 0 strength, and we're gonna just go in here, slowly get rid of this. To some degree, we don't want to get rid of like a whole bunch. We do want to get rid of a decent amount. It is a little hard to get in there, I'm not gonna lie. It's not easy in the slightest. Okay, so that should have worked to some degree. I'm gonna go back to object mode, and then I'm gonna click on the armature. I'm gonna go into pose mode. We're gonna try this. Okay, so that's working. And then when we pull this up, yeah, so it's still pulling here, as you can clearly see. Fix that. We're gonna go into weight paint. Go into clavicle here. Get rid of, wait a minute, forearm, arm roll, clavicle. It might be the clavicle. I don't know if it's the clavicle or not. Don't think so. I think it might be the arm roll. Not gonna lie. Yeah, it's gotta be, it's okay. So it's looking like it's the arm roll here. So arm roll. Bring the size down a bit. Okay. Yeah. And as you can see, hopefully that solved our issue. Yeah, there we go. So that solved our issue decently, not crazy amount. Okay, now object mode and reset this pose here. It's going to be a little hard to know where exactly we had it. So what I like to do is This is why we save the old, ah, and because I have it ported, or because I was using the other armature, it's gonna not be right. So armor, okay. So now, yeah, so here's this version here. This is the one we have. Okay, so now we can click on our armature and easily bring it back down, right? Now, you can clearly see that there's a problem because character's arm is not in the right spot. Okay, so now it is. So now what we can do here is go to this character and we can select the armature, that, and we can just press X and delete that. Okay, so now we're back and we're good. So, um, we're going to have to do the same thing on the other arm, basically. But for now, that's working a lot better than it was. But with this arm, like I said, it's doing the same thing, and most likely is going to be the same thing. So I'm gonna go to weight painting on the body. Oh, sorry, and we're going to go to our other arm here. So we have our upper arm. Our problems in here shouldn't be like that. Okay, right now we got our clavicle, fine, arm roll. So here's that arm roll. Get rid of all that underneath there. Oops. Got rid of a little too much in there. Bring that size down. Just takes a lot of time, guys. Not as simple and easy as pressing a couple of buttons. I sure wish it was, but really, really not hard. I'll tell you that. It is hard to get rid of these spots that you want to get rid of. Okay, so that looks a lot better, at least from what we can see. Now we're going to go back into our pose mode and try to pull this out. Okay, so it's still pulling a little bit right here. It actually looks a little more natural. Still a little bit more. So now we're going to pull this open. And it probably would have been better to do this anyway, to pull it open. And now we can actually go in here and get rid of the base of all of this. Okay, so now we can go back to object mode. And then when we do this, it still kind of pulls, which, yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. It's not too bad, actually. What does this one look like? Yeah, so actually that's about right. So now, right, with that other one, we honestly we probably shouldn't even have deleted him, but we're gonna bring his, oh, where did I put him? Lucas Grenadier. Oh, that's the wrong one. In here. Lucas Hunter. Ultimesh. Oh, oh, I'm gonna do something else there for some reason. Okay, so armor. I guess we're gonna bring him back. And I'm going to click on this. We're gonna hide this. Okay. Now we're gonna pull our armature. We're gonna bring that back down. Now, if it's not in the exact same spot that you left it in, make sure you rotate and then press R. Then fix the alignment back to where it was, where it should be. Okay. So that looks great. And now I can kind of get rid of that hunter there. So now we're back in that base pose, which is great. Now I can control and merge these guys back. So now we got my working arms with the weight painting. Body's working perfectly. That is great. That's amazing. So yeah, everything seems to be working properly now. Um, so the final step, and even if there's things that are kind of broken, like I said, if you want to perfect it, you can. This is just for tutorial purposes. So we have the old mesh, but these now have all the weight paints, which give us the ability to control it through the skeletal mesh. But now what we want to do is we have our character here. What we're going to start doing is we're going to start bringing everything else back. We're going to work on these slowly, one by one. So here's a little thing that I like to do with helmets, because helmets, the way that they work on the head. So what you can do, press tab, and what you can do here is you can press on a face. You can shift D and drag this over here, and then press P, eye selection. Now it's going to be its own little thing. But the funny thing is, it still has weights to it. So we're going to bring our helmet back. Our helmet has no weights. We're going to click this. We're going to shift click our helmet. We're going to transfer the weights. And now delete this by pressing, highlighting it and then pressing X and then delete. So now our helmet, when we ever move our head, oh, sorry, I did not merge that to the body. Okay. Now our helmet, when we move our head, it now fits to the head very perfectly. So it has the weight paint of the head only. And I will show you that here with the head. So there is the head. Works perfectly. Amazing. And it is only to the head. And then there's the neck. So it works great. And that is how you do it for helmets, at least. So now you think to yourself, you're like, man, this looks a little confusing for this part here. Well, there is something that we can do here. Another model that comes from, and it is one of these pieces here somewhere. I guess this one. Yes. So I already have this piece here, which is the exact same piece here. And thankfully, because it's remastered, it's going to work, you know, really good. So the old one doesn't even have the locust symbol, all these extra little doodads. Pretty cool. So we can click the old model, shift click, weight paint, weights, transfer, and everything should have gone smooth. And then now we can hide the old model. We can add this to our mesh. Now we're going to test it out. And there you go. It works properly. It's stretching with the body up front. The shoulders, it's not going to move with the shoulders, thankfully. That's very important. But it does move with your character's body, which is very, very important. And it works the exact same way as it does on the older body. So, by the way, sorry guys, I'm like doing this really late at night. So I really, really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And, you know, I'm just taking my time. So now another thing that you want to do here is something that I'm a little curious about. I'm not sure if it's going to work exactly 100% the way I want it to, but so with the arms and all of these different things, there are these that I can use, and these should work consistently, the same way. And I'm gonna try that, but I kind of wanted to try them one by one, just so that nothing is merging. So whenever there's meshes that are close by, you don't ever want to weight paint, because the weight paint has a chance of getting onto those different meshes and completely ruining it. So you'll have to do these one by one, and it will it will, trust me, it'll look a lot better. So if we click this, shift click this, and we do the weight paint, it's only transferring the weight paint from here. Nothing else is being weight painted from anywhere else, which is why it's so vitally important. And we're just going to do the same thing for everything else. It's a rinse and repeat process. And you'll know that you've transferred over these weights because your weights, there are none on yours, but the older model has weights. So you'll shift click, weights, transfer weights, and you'll kind of just do this same process throughout the entire thing until you're done. So weight paint, weights, transfer weights. Okay. And I'm hiding all of these purposefully. I'm not actually adding them back. So I'm going to join all these back together. And now I'm going to finally join them with my body. So to test this out, we can go and click on our mesh. And as you can see, it is now currently working properly with the arms. They are now moving and it is working perfectly, which is amazing and great. We love to see that. So for the pouches, there are pouches all along the sides. People may not like my methods, but they definitely work. So what you want to do for each one of these is separate them, separate them, separate them, separate them. So remember, highlight, Control L, P, 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 highlight, Control L, P. It works. Now they're all separated, right? So, like I said, people may not like this method, but it is the best method to do whenever you don't want to use the older model, because the older model has really bad weight paints for how the gear kind of works. So as you can see, there's some differences here. So it's not in perfect spot where it was supposed to be, but it'll work for the tutorial at least. So you'll click your model. Now I can't see anything here, but I'm going to select it anyway. I'm going to press, and remember we're on faces because it's easier. So click, Shift D, bring it off to the side, press P, selection. Now we're going to use this and transfer the weights. Now what this does is it's transferring the weights to this body only in this little spot to this pouch. So this spot will only move, and the pouch will only move with this spot. So whenever his leg is moving, this will not be moving and stretching everywhere else, which is very, very important. And we're just going to kind of rinse and repeat this process because it is super easy. Like I said, a lot of people will not like my method, but I'm telling you that it's the best way to do this. And as somebody who's modded for a long time, this was one of the easiest ways to uh kind of beating around weight painting in a way. So if you want to properly weight paint, be my guest, go ahead. But it's not, it's crazy, man. I know I wouldn't want to do it. So yeah, I mean, just like I said, go through each and every one of these. Gonna join all these back. Okay, everything looks to be joined except for this last one here. So we'll click on the face, Shift D, press P to separate, and then we'll Shift click, transfer the weights, boom, easy, delete that, and then click this, Shift click our model, and Control J. So now we have every single piece completely weight painted on the body, and as you can clearly see here, I can move this, I can move this. As you can see, it's kind of stretching here. You're not really going to see that much. So, like I said, it's not something that, um, I'd be too worried about in that regard, just in that regard alone. But if you want to fix that from happening, I can show you that. Honestly, I'm going to show you that right now. And as you can see, what I was telling you about, which was honestly hilarious. So as you can clearly see, this should not be stretching, which means that when I was highlighting this, Control P, okay, I gave it a weight that wasn't that great. So I'm going to choose a little lower down here, Control P. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to delete all groups. I'm going to transfer the weights again, and we will see that it should be working a lot better. Yeah, so now it's not stretching at all. So before I had done it to the skin without knowing, but that's why you got to be careful. So, okay, another thing. So this is how we fix this issue here. The one where the body is like stretching down here on the bottom. So you're going to separate the body, which is, we just have to. We have to do that. We have to separate it from the legs. And what we are going to do is bring back, need to bring back the locust, the old model at least. And I'm looking for him. Ah, here he is. Okay. So what we can do here is it is one mesh. So it's actually going to be a lot harder, but I'm going to hide our mesh and only do top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete all of our groups, and I'm going to click the old model, and then I'm going to shift click our model. I'm going to weight paint, transfer weights. Okay. Ooh, you know what? I actually don't feel like doing that. And the reason why I say that is, so I'm going to show you another thing to do, right? Because we fixed the arms earlier and we don't want to re-break them. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to grab of his lower half. I'm going to do a selection, and now I'm going to go back to the body here. So now I'm going to hide this, and with this, I'm going to remove. Oh, they're already gone. Wait, they still gone for this one? Oh, I need to go back a little further. Right. Okay. Oh, just a little further. Okay. Yeah, because we do not want to get rid of all of our weights. So now we have our weights back. Okay. Let's go through here. Do this. And it probably, yes, it went through all the way. It got about every British C just about for what we needed at least. Okay, selection. Okay, I'm going to hide this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all the groups here. So delete all the groups here. Shift click, weight paint, transfer weights, object mode. I'm going to hide this. I'm going to go back to our character, highlight everything, Control J. Okay. Yeah, you can see the seam where it is cut. That's okay. You're not gonna be able to like actually see that. That's just there because of what we did. But now I can move this. I can move this. And it's still there in some areas, right? But it's not there out of its entirety. And you know what? You know what's crazy? I actually didn't think about this, but check this out. Well, damn, that's unfortunate. I think I could just merge this back. Yeah, okay. And then hide this. And I can actually bring this back. So what we can do here is we can look at the weight painting, right? So we could separate it. We could look at the weight painting. And I'm not in weight paint mode. So actually, I didn't even need to separate. Well, actually, I still kind of did need to separate it. But okay, so the pelvis, right? Okay. Now we're going to go to our bottom half, weight paint. and pelvis, right? So as you can clearly see, spine, this should not be on the spine. At least I do not think. Yeah, I don't think this is the one. These are the ones that should be on the spine. Yeah, because these are the ones that are stretching. So this is what you do, and this is the spine because we went through and we checked the weights. So now when I go to bend the character the way that I was doing it, I want to make sure it's all gone there. Okay. Okay, cool. So we're going to join that back. Now when I go back in, there it is. And now it's fixed. Would you look at that? Because of the weight painting. It's a very crucial point. And so you can clearly see that there's still some that's left. So control L. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll control L here and then separate this. That's crazy because now it's actually a separation the way that it works. So we can go back in here. We can go to weight painting. And we can go to the spine 2. So it's spine 2, as you can see, because those are the areas where it was stretching, right? And we're like, why is it stretching there? Because it shouldn't be, and we know that. And so now we can go in, we can fix that. We can go back, we can shift click, Control J, right? Click here, fixed, and no longer an issue. So very cool, very easy, very, okay, well, it's not easy. I mean, if you mess up, that's why you make file save and you make different save states kind of, so like where you are. So yeah, but now from here we can actually go to our character and here, and we're going to go to file, we're going to go to export, we're going to go to PSK. Now if you don't have this, you need to go to edit preferences, get extension, and then Unreal PSK PSA. But now we can export it as a PSK. So export Unreal PSK, and we can call this Flame Grenadier, Flame Grenadier, and then it'll turn it into a PSK, and then export, and we should see that exported here at the bottom successfully. Now we'll go into the Gears of War editor, and you can click on import, and we can import a new character, and you'll just go to wherever you have your stuff, which mine seems to not be where it's supposed to be. So characters and Flame Grenadier, open. So it's going to import this. I'm just going to call this locust underscore gears 5. And then the grouping, I'm going to call it a mesh because that's what it is. So this is going to be flame underscore grenadier underscore mesh. And it is okay. So flame grenadier G5 and mesh. Okay. And so now we'll click OK. And then from here, it's going to process it. It's going to put it in the game, at least into its own file package, right? And if we give it a moment, it will load. So I can pause when it's on the, okay, wait. Oh, there it goes. I can go and just pause it and have come back. So our character is in the game, currently has no textures, right? And we're going to have to create those on our own and add those to the game. So he does come with textures, but they're not going to look that great. As you can see, he has materials. So body, legs, shoulders, helmet. So it's all there. And that's all based off of this in here. Oh, sorry. Go to materials. It's based off of all of this in here. So, um, and whenever you change all this, you need to re-export it so that you can fix it. But whenever you get the character in here, you want to always make sure that you go in here, make him at a minus 90% yaw. So he's facing the right direction. And just to see if he even works, we can go to our anim player, and we're not doing textures obviously yet. So we can go in here to our anim player, and we can look for Marcus has anim set Marcus cam skeleton. As you can see, he's working to some degree here. Okay. Shoulders are working with the idle. Okay. Looks like to be the chainsaw stance. There seems to be some broken vertices, you know, clearly, which is expected. It's expected to not be perfect. As you can clearly see, the knee pads, I knew that was going to be a thing as well. This just goes to show you how hard it is, how much things can be overlooked. I've had to spend hours and hours and hours inside of Blender fixing a bunch of issues like this, kind of like how I was showing you just a minute ago. And so, you know, you'll never truly know how to fix those things and if you have it right completely. And so I'll show you kind of an easy fix for these knee pads right at the moment. So if you have issues like that, you can go in here, you can highlight these, and it's going to do the whole boot, as you can clearly see. So sadly, because it's such a high poly model, you're going to have to select each and every one of these, right? Boom, 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 boom. Just select some of them, like, you know, the way that you can, so you can get all the little different things. And this isn't actually his leg. That's crazy. Hold on. Okay, so it's like kind of like his leg. It's not entirely his leg, but it's basically there. Honestly, yeah. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say something else. Oop, didn't mean to get that. So I'm gonna control L. It's gonna select a bunch of this other stuff. Okay, gonna highlight a lot of this. Control L. Yeah, there's a lot here. This is why it's so crucial, especially on higher poly models, dude. Like, it's easy sometimes for lower poly, and then it's also really hard. But then, man, when you look at these really high poly models, man, because like I'll have to do this for both legs, right? But so we'll deselect it, or we'll select it, and you know, as you can see, we got it perfect. So now from here, we know that it's stretching with the thigh. But we're gonna have to go into weight paint. What we're gonna have to do is gonna go up here, and we're gonna have to look for it somewhere in the thigh. Ah, there it is. So the thigh, it should not be on the thigh at all. It should only be on the calf right here. And yet the thigh is clearly taking its place here and making everything stretch. So I'm gonna have to fix that. Okay. Now we just want to make sure that, as you can clearly see on the calf, there's stuff that's missing. So now we need to put this weight. We need to weight paint. We need to weight paint everything that is not being weight painted. Okay. So as you can see, there's some down here as well. I'm just gonna clear that up. Grab all that. I probably didn't have to do that, honestly, but just some stuff you don't want to overlook. And then you'll come back here, weight paint. You'll go into the thigh. Hopefully we can find it. So here's the calf, right? Here's the calf. We know that it's pulling some other stuff up here. It shouldn't be doing that. So this is part of the calf. This is part of the, you know, the shoe down here as well. It's doing its job to some degree. I mean, obviously, you know, doing weight paints for different meshes is going to be a lot different. It's going to be a little harder. And this is why you hide objects, because it's a lot easier to just go in here and do what you got to do. You know what I mean? And in instances like this, you're going to downsize it because you need to get off everything that's armor related because you don't want the armor pulling and stretching and kind of like looking really ridiculous because armor doesn't do that. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of those little things that you'll kind of get used to, and it's uh it's a lot. It kind of sucks, but it is a lot. And so just bring that back, and hopefully we have it working. You know what I mean? That's just kind of all there is to it. That's all. I mean, that's all you really can do. And so with this, bring this back here, and we'll bring this back as well. And then at the very end, we can just select everything, export, PSK, put it back in the same spot. Gonna export down here, and then we'll go back to Unreal. We'll go here, right click on our model, re-import skeletal mesh, and hopefully we got that fixed for at least one leg. So there you go. So I fixed it on that one leg. It's now no longer stretching, but now you know what the process takes and you know how hard it is. So I'm not exactly sure what these two are or where they're coming from. I have no idea, honestly. You could go inside and kind of, okay, so it looks to be, oh, okay, so that's where we're getting our stretching from. So we're getting some stretching here now. But where are these coming from? That's the real question. Dude, I have no idea. Huh. Ah, okay, this looks like we're getting some stretching from, oh, looks to be that armpit, right? Looks to be that armpit. So I'm going to give you a pointer here. So I'm actually going to undo a lot of this because I actually have a save. So I'm going to go back here to a save that I'm currently on, which is a lot further back, So I'm not going to be able to show you a lot of other stuff. But basically, we go here and we go back to our full model, which I'm going to bring up here. Now, I haven't weight painted anything, of course, but I'm going to show you exactly why this is important. That's the other mesh. Sorry. Okay, so here's our full mesh, right? So this is why this is so important. So I'm going to Control J and have everything merged. Actually, you don't even need anything merged. That's the crazy thing about poses is that it moves it no matter if the mesh is seeable or not. So the great thing about this is, oh, sorry, I haven't actually. So because I haven't weight painted it, it's not going to work, right? It's not going to work. But the best way to weight paint arms and not have any issues with arms is to always get as much space in between here and here and not have like a broken collarbone or anything like that, and have the arms go out kind of like this. And I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Let me open up a different model. So I can kind of tell you what I'm talking about here. Huh. Trying to find my other blend files. Sorry, guys. I don't know why they're not in here. No, wrong one. Oh, wrong one. I don't know where it is. Tell you what. Okay. I'm just gonna delete everything. I'm gonna import a SK. Okay, I'm gonna go to my Thai character. Okay, so this is what I meant by what I was talking about, right? Is that in the rig, you want to make sure, sorry, not in pose mode. You want to make sure the arms are kind of like this. So you want the arms to kind of just be, hold on, just like the wrong one. You want the arms to kind of be out like this. And then you'll pose that other model to be exactly like this as well. And you'll copy all the weights just like this. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work. I mean, for at least for the arms. So like if you can on your character, right, you'll go here and then let me get a pose mode. You'll go here, you'll select just the arms, Control L, P, right. So now we have just the arm, right? Obviously we're breaking it. This is not supposed to do that, but the reason why I'm saying, and that's obviously because it has bones. So if we get rid of all the bones, we can move our arm perfectly. But so to apply something in a rest pose, you will also go to the armature here, the wrench. You'll click this, click apply, and yeah, obviously just like that. So it's simple, but um, there's a lot more to it. And then if you want this to be the rest pose position, you'll go to pose mode. You'll click, press A to select everything, press pose, and then you'll click apply and apply as rest pose. So obviously you do not want to do this at all until you do it to your model. So you need to click on your model first and you'll click apply. So now, and now you'll click on, you'll right click on your model, parent, clear parent and keep transformation. So now you've separated it. You've done a separation from the armature. So now you can click on the armature, click on pose, apply pose as rest pose. So now you can go back to your armature, type in armature in here, like the object, right? Okay. So click on our armature, pose mode. And there you go. Except this is now the default pose. So that's how you do it. There's a lot of work behind it. Honestly, this video was an hour. I didn't even think it was going to take this long, but it did. And that's just how much explaining goes into all of this and how it truly works. It's a lot of work to be able to make a model, to be able to make a character work and, look great in game. And so there's a lot more to cover, but just for the basis of you guys being able to understand kind of like the workflow, how it works, and kind of what it takes, So I appreciate everybody watching this video, and I hope this helped you out a lot. Thank you.